What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? These ultra-low net-carb baked goods contain zero sugar, fewer calories, and more protein than the leading brands, and are high in fiber to support gut health. Shop now at hero.co.
Hey y'all, my name is Shan. Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. This is a series for Black fathers because Black fathers matter. Black fathers matter to me. Black fathers matter to my children. Black fathers matter when it comes to my brothers, my mentors, my friends. They matter because they set the tone for who our children look up to. They set the tone for how men, women, children, and other elderly people feel protected, feel like, everything they've struggled for was for a good cause because they've seen who they've become. And I want to, I just want to shine a light on them and hear from them in a perspective that sometimes goes unheard because no one cares to ask. Sometimes people look at fathers as if, oh, that's nothing. They're supposed to do that. Why would we, thank you for doing something you're automatically supposed to do? You shouldn't look for any, praise or any thank yous for that. That's standard. That's the basics. Do what you're supposed to do. But when you have a father that's there, that's consistent, that's available, that's attentive, that's caring, that's thoughtful, versus an absent father, versus a father that thinks his life and his now is more important than the child's future. There's a difference. There's a clear difference. And I just want to show appreciation. So this series, I've interviewed many fathers from different places, different backgrounds. And I really just want to pick their brains with different questions. So thank you for listening to Cozy Womb Podcast, and I hope you enjoy.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
You ready to be honest?
Yes, for sure. Already.
All right.
I heard snippets. So I heard snippets, and of course I know how you are. So I'm ready.
All right. So this is episode 24 for Cozy Womb Podcast. We have Peabody for the Black Fathers Matter series. I couldn't finish it without having him in here because he's not like a spanking new dad, but he had his first Father's Day, this past week, and I just want to pick his brain about fatherhood. So welcome.
What's going on? Hey everybody, how you
doing? Would you like to state where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm all over, honestly, but I stay in Houston, Texas, of course. The name is Peabody. Hopefully y'all probably heard of me before from the Social Complex podcast. It's a dope pod, man. We talk about everything, no holds bar. It's barbershop and nail salon talk, you know what I'm saying? So just grab a margarita, grab an old fashioned, and have a good time, man.
Peabody is known for making problematic statements and then being like, hey, you want to get on in this conversation? Yes I do. So that's usually his thing. So you're a dad of how many kiddos?
I'm a dad. It's been a full year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a full year. I have a beautiful daughter, Raina. Talking about it right now, I'm cheesing from ear to ear. So it's I would have to say it's the best highlight of my life. Yeah.
And what is your age?
My age?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Don't be alarmed. Everybody got access. Everybody got access. Don't be alarmed.
No, my age, I'm 34. I have my first child when I was 30. Well, I didn't have her, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, but I had my first child when I was 33.
Okay.
I waited. So it's weird. Well, I'm 34. Most of my friends are in that same age group. Most of their kids are 12, 4, 5.
Wow.
My daughter just turned 1, so I'm having to stay at home now.
So, what age do you feel? How old do you feel?
What's up?
Well, how old do you feel?
I feel young still. To be honest with you, I've always, as I was younger, I've always stated, I wanted to have kids when I was young. So by the time I reach 40 or 50, they'll probably be in their teenage or almost 20s, so I could still hang out with them, But when I'm 34, my mom is still in her 50s, and my mom goes out more than me now. She's living her best life.
Oh yeah, she got rid of you.
Exactly. She's living her best life now. She has her own business. She's making her own money. She's not taking care of boys anymore.
Yeah.
So I think for me, she makes me feel young. As now that she's walking and she's learning how to talk, I think that she's talking back.
Yeah.
She's learning how to talk. It makes me feel young. I have somebody that looks like me that I can talk to. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's a feeling that you can't explain. So, I feel like I'm 21, honestly.
That's good. And she get to keep you young. Especially if you have to chase her. So good luck.
I want to be that dad, where, when she invites her, like, people over, man, that's your dad. Damn, he looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So my first question for you is, I fill in the blank. My first Father's Day was blank.
It was epic and overwhelming.
Why was that?
I'm somewhat of a pleaser, and I can't tell y'all all, but I don't know if you followed my mistakes from last time. I shared a little bit too much. And of course, if everybody knows my situation, it was co-parenting. But it was overwhelming that I don't really, I think one thing about me that probably is not portrayed on Twitter, I'm a pleaser. I like to please. I know I talk a lot of shit on Twitter, but I like to make sure that the people that I'm around with, they're happy. I don't really care for me being happy. So if I'm having my kickbacks or having a party event, as long as the people around me are being happy and being pleased, I'm happy. So on Father's Day, I was receiving gifts. I was, being cooked for, all this stuff. And I really didn't know how to react to it. It was like kind of surreal. Like, oh, this is for me? Like, I get this?
Yeah.
So it was a great feeling. I was happy about it, but I'm just starting to get used to it still. And I think I've always been that way.
Well, hopefully that balances out, because if you let your daughter know that you're a pleaser, you might get ran over.
I know, right? She already got, 3 pair of Jordans.
Oh, man. I got a throwback question for you. What was your dad like growing up?
I was raised in a single parent household. So that was a good question. I was raised in a single parent household. And people laugh when I say this, my dad and my mom is one person. It's my mom. She played both roles. I never really had a father. Me and him are good now, but I really can't answer that question specifically for him because he really wasn't around. I knew who he was. He called me, but he left my mom with 2 boys, you know, and he left my mom when my brother was born. So my brother, you know, he calls him by his name, Eric, you know. And a fun fact, I guess, you know, I've never shared this, so it's groundbreaking. I go by Peabody because I don't like my first name, which is Eric. I'm a junior.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, I'm a junior. So
wow.
Exactly. So I go by Peabody. Just it's my own identity, my own person. I've been going by Peabody since like middle school. And you know, my mom, she'll call me Eric, or the women that I've encountered with, they'll call me Eric sometimes. But overall, my mom has been the one to teach me how to tie a tie, how to change my tire. She's done all that for me, you know what I'm saying? So everything that I'm incorporating with my daughter now, I've learned from her. My dad, he's around now, so let me not give him no credit. Like, he's always been around for me, but overall as a father for he has 2 other children as well, but for his first 2 children, he wasn't around. He was there for me, I guess, because I was his like first, but he, fathering skills, I'll probably say from grade school to high school, for me, I'll give him like a 3.
What is your relationship now?
It's cordial. It's cool. You know, I'll call him, hey, check up on him, or he'll call me to see like his granddaughter. You know, we laugh. If I'm going to town, because he lives in Dallas, Texas, I'll call him, say, hey, I'm coming to Dallas to go see my daughter. Or when he's coming to Houston, he'll hit me up and we'll hang out. But it's not. It's so my brother Acha, you know, that's, you know, that's his dad too, but we have 2 different moms. If you look at me and him and how we treat our dad, you can tell the difference. It's more so it's that Bill Cosby or like the Cosby Show vibe with them, opposed to with me. I feel like I'm the friend spending the night over to like their house. Hey, is it cool if I get something to eat in the refrigerator? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you think that you guys will get to a point where you could peel that layer back and have like a real discussion as to the why? Or
it's never too late. It's never too late, but I know the men in my family, we kind of brush everything over. So if we do have the discussion, I know we can have it, but I know there's so many layers to break to get to the core. I don't think it would ever be fixed. I just know, and I've told him this. I'll let him know, like, hey, what me and you know, have now, it's you know, strong. But I just want you. I know you wasn't really there for me as a father, but you know, you have a second chance with your granddaughter. So I think right now what he's doing, and I see it, he's living his fatherhood that he missed out with me through her now.
We'll accept that for now, but y'all gotta get to a point where you got to peel that layer back.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Hopefully he doesn't.
Needs to be mended. Facts.
You'll respect it more if it's coming from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that you break that cycle of brushing it off and be the different man in your family, where you don't brush off. All right.
I told y'all, man. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know when you see it on Twitter, sooner or later, you'll go back to this episode, because I'm smiling right now. I just can't say too much, but hopefully by me saying what I'm saying right now, you can put 2 and 2 together. You'll see I'm trying to break that you know, trend that's going on.
Okay. I got another fill in the blank for you. Being a girl dad is exciting because blank.
Is what?
Is exciting because blank.
It's breaking up a little bit.
Being a girl dad is exciting because blank.
It changes you.
And what?
It's a new perspective in life. I wanted a boy, but it's. I did. I wanted a boy, but honestly, a daughter. It's everything. It's the girl dad. It's the R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant. But not so much him. But I think all men or all great fathers have done this. When you have a connection with the opposite sex, no matter if you're dating that person or you're a father to that daughter, and y'all both like the same things, it brings y'all closer. Because girls and guys were two different species. You know what I'm saying? And me and her, even when she was probably 4 to 5 months, when I would watch the NBA, she would watch it with me. And now when I'm watching like YouTube clips of basketball, she's there with me watching it. She sits down properly like me, and her mom laughs and she's like, "Yo, like your daughter, that's your twin."
Mm-hmm.
She even scratches like her head like me. So it's weird, but I love being a girl dad, man. If you go on my IG right now, I'm smiling from ear to ear on every picture. It's exciting. Not saying that I won't have that same excitement with a son, but with a girl, well, my experience is completely different, man. You cherish that moment. You're super overprotective, and I'm a big teddy bear.
Okay.
I'm a jolly bear, yo. Of your jolly bear, man. Come on.
Give me 4 things that sit in back of your mind about raising a girl most of the time.
4 things? Woo!
Mm-hmm.
4. Oh. That sit in the back of my mind. Not making her cry. And when I'm not making her cry as far as I know I do have to discipline her, but I'll discipline her in a way that she knows, everybody knows the whole story, before you walk in the store, don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me, you see all these kids, such a stuff, don't do that, okay? If you want to survive and not cry in the store, yeah. So stuff like that. Number 2, of course, being her like protector. I want her to know that she shouldn't fear no man and that a man is supposed to protect her. Opening that door for her, making sure that she's well, and making sure that she doesn't have anything to worry about. So I want her to grow up knowing that we have that relationship, as she goes on, of course, to high school, and when she does high school events or even grade school events, text me before you go to sleep. Hey, we can have a little code. I might send you an H. You send me a G. As long as I know we sending that to each other, I know like you're good, Just make sure that she's well protected. Another thing is importance of family. I've always wanted to have a household to where Friday and Saturday nights, which I'm doing now, but Friday and Saturday nights is like game night. So I think the best protection is your family, knowing that you can share anything. What I mean by that, if we're doing game nights, playing, I don't know, charades or dominoes, spades, or any of that, at least I know building that relationship. I think those are all skills for relationship building, that you can come to me with anything. If anybody were to touch you in the wrong place, or if anybody was to do the whole new like a bullying thing, you can always come to daddy or come to your mom and let me know anything, I don't want you to feel ashamed or be bothered, or hey, like you might be judged if you come to like your parents. No, this is a free open zone. I'm all about laughter, and number 4 is laughter. I'm all about fun. I want her to be a free spirited environment and like live life. I think a lot of people in general, adults as well, we are afraid of being judged. I want her to know, just have fun, like do what you want to do because you like it. And it makes you feel good, and surround yourself with that foundation or your circle that also likes to have fun. There's no greater moment. Like if you're driving to Dallas or you're driving to like New Orleans and it's a 4-hour drive, if you have people in your car that you have fun with, that 4 to 5 hour drive seems like 2 hours or like an hour. So yeah.
Okay. Being that you're in Texas, are you gonna be pro teaching your daughter in like kid age how to shoot a gun, how to handle a gun?
I've never shot a gun before.
What? Why
Never
not?
shot a gun. I never shot a gun. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, and this is not no Friday or whatnot, but I have these. I mean,
I understand, but sometimes you can't bring that because they're not trying to do this.
I understand. Hey, by all means, I do understand, but I was raised around these. Like middle school, these got me through because I got teased for my last name Peabody. But hey, these got me through. So, but I will say, and I talked to her mom about this, and I'm in a group as well. I am in the talks of about purchasing my first gun, and also after I do that, getting my LLC. So for me, that's licensed to carry, pretty much.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Please do.
So, but yeah, I've never held I've never held a gun. No, I lied. I have held a gun before.
Yeah.
I just at one point I didn't believe it because I had a gun held to my head before.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Did that make you not want to be around them after that?
Yeah, because that could have ended my life. Plain and simple. I'm not a big advocate on gun violence. I think it's destroyed a lot of homes.
Yeah.
We see like the school shootings, and I think just last weekend, I think it's been on the news, a guy in Chicago, he killed 2 teenage boys because they asked him how tall he was.
I saw that. I saw you posted that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and like he shot them. So I think people are, guns kill people, or people, with like
stupid
guns.
People kill people.
Yeah.
I think, especially now when you live in a place where there's a lot more cowards.
Yeah.
They're not gonna come to you, with hands. And
no, they're not.
They purposely hunt out people who feel like this is a good area, especially here in Atlanta. Especially women. Sex trafficking is really high here. A lot of women.
I've heard about that. So it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like Atlanta.
Oh yes, children sex trafficking is high here. So like even when I take the girls to the park, I purposely dress them in bright colors and particular sneakers. I'll put their names. I'll put their names on like the inside of their sole of their sneakers, just in case somebody take them and they get lost somewhere. They have their name. I put my number somewhere in their clothing. So it's just like it's all this preparation, and then being that I live by myself, I have a gun that I keep in my car and I have a gun that I keep in my house, and both of them know it. I haven't trained them yet on handling it, but they know like not to touch it. The lock that I have for it is a code. So I'm just very like, because I live by myself and I'm a woman and I got girls, I got kids, I gotta be like extra, aware and protected. But
so they do know where the gun is, though, correct?
But the box that I have is a code box. It's not a key box.
Okay.
So you know, like as they get older, yes, your kids feel like certain issues are more important, and I need this, and it's really not. But because they're going through like their feelings and emotions, I had to make sure it wasn't like something where they could find a key and open it. It has to be a code.
Yeah.
And even when I'm going in it, I don't let them see, you know, me going in it. So it's all about being strategic about handling that, because a lot of people just, you know, get a gun and that's it. They don't get a safe. They don't get the license to carry. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm not teaching them to just handle it whenever, just because it looks a certain way. I really stress that, you know, I keep it for protection.
Let me ask you this, y'all. Have you ever, or have you gotten close to using it like before?
No.
Oh, okay. That's good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I usually go to the gun range at least like twice a month. And it's right down the street from my house. But I've never gotten into a space where I needed to take it. But it does help me when I'm at gas stations and men that wake up early to stand at the gas station want to walk up.
That's crazy.
They usually see it and walk up.
That's crazy, yo.
It works because, you know, the hours that I work is really early in the morning. They see me by myself with a car. You know, sometimes that air tire light come on, and even when I pump gas with the girls, because really a lot here in Atlanta, they will take your car with your kids in it. And so when
that's crazy, dog.
I put air in my car, I take out the key, I take my phone, or I give like my oldest my phone, and I'll take the gun with me, and as I'm putting air in the tire, it's with me, and I lock the doors, and I'll open the doors when I get back in it. When I go pump gas, I've never been the one to leave a kid in the car. They have to come out the car with me. So it's all about being strategic about when you go pump gas. Things that I think men don't really think about, because they're just like, you know, I'm a man, I'm gonna pump it whenever. But a woman here, you have to think about those things. It's crazy.
Man, it's the world we live in, man.
Yeah.
We can thank Adam and Eve for that, yo. It's crazy, you know. Like it's
crazy.
Is I think just even hearing you, you know, talk about that, and me having a daughter now, I will say, even for me, because I want her to see me, and I don't know if it's my stress level, but ever since I've had her, I've always thought like, damn, I'm in my 30s now. I'm a black man. Most black men, we sometimes perish this world in our 50s. I mean, I think like the average is our 50s, and I could be wrong, but I think the average last time I checked is in our 50s. So I have about 18 more years left in this world, but I always think about, you know, hey, if I go out, you know, I'm always probably in the house by like 11 o'clock, because I know after like a certain time, nothing good happens. You know what I'm saying? You got drunk drivers, you got fights, people may just shoot you, you know. So I try to be careful with my life as well as hers. So even, you know, listening to you about the whole taking them out the car, stuff like that. I think my first, and it's nothing major, but I remember when I went to the grocery store with her, she had to use the restroom and I had to use the restroom. I was just like, I've never taken her to the bathroom to like change her, and I'm by myself. So I asked the lady, I said, hey, I'm her dad, I'm taking my daughter to the restroom to change her. Which is
so messed up. I hate that you guys have to do that. And a lot of public bathrooms do not have a changing table in the men's bathroom.
They don't. And I felt weird. I was like, hey, because they I think the family bathroom was taken, and I didn't want to take her to like the men's restroom, you know. So I knocked on like the ladies, and I think there were like 3 girls in there, and I said, hey, I have a little girl. She's what, I think at the time she was like 9, 10 months. I was like, can I change her in here real quick? You know, I was like, you know, if y'all can have the camera and watch me. When I told them, I was very, very detailed. I don't want nobody coming in here saying, oh, why is there a man or like a black man in here, you know?
Yeah.
So just hearing you talk about that and the whole trafficking, it just kind of opens my eyes. Like, I'm very, very careful, yo.
Oh yeah, they are out here in broad daylight too. I want to say about 3 years ago here in Atlanta, before I got my car, I got mugged in broad daylight from my phone.
Seriously?
And nobody stopped. Cars are passing, nobody stopped. The guy pulled me in the street and everything. But it's just like, you just never know, and just people just out here just waiting for opportunities. But even when it comes to that, I was talking to Lamar from Dear Fathers, which is a good podcast you should check out, where they just interview like different dads about fatherhood and different topics. And he was saying how he went to go to Target, I think, and he was getting his daughter some underwear, and this lady just walked up to him and said, "What are you doing over here? You're not supposed to be over here." So it's kind of, it sucks for black dads to be in a position where even when you're doing for your kid, you can't even be comfortable doing that because people want to check you on what you're doing.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's unfortunate. I just want y'all to be equally comfortable, because the mindset is always, you know, black men are dangerous, to be afraid. And then the mindset is also women are supposed to do everything for the child, and a man is only supposed to work and pay bills in the house. That's it. A man is not supposed to be with his daughter, getting her underwear, taking her to the bathroom, being with her at the pool, whatever. And it's kind of like that whole mind frame has to go. It has to go, because you're looked at as objects, not human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right, so my next question for you is a fill in the blank. Fathers should always strive to be blank.
A role model, a superhero. Yeah. I don't want my daughter to ever have to doubt me or me like, I'm going to teach her, you know, everybody's human, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, I want her, you know, this is my dad, like, just how I talk about her right now, I'm smiling. I want her to have that same affection towards me. And of course, by default, I'm her dad. So of course she is, or maybe not, I don't know. But
if you do it the right way,
yeah, but I mean, I think like my superhero to me is my mom, you know, so she's done everything that she could possibly do when I was from grade school to college, you know. So I think for her, you know, strive to be a superhero, to be a role model. Make sure that, you know, she sees how you treat women as well, because whatever you do towards other women, she's gonna gravitate towards that, you know.
Which brings me to my next question.
Are you in the wrong thing?
Yes. When I tell you I make all these questions for you guys, for you only, like nobody has the exact same questions. So, fill this in. Showing my daughter's mom respect is important because blank.
Ooh, man. That's another thing, yo. Ooh, man, you are gonna look back on this episode and be like, damn, this was a gold mine. This episode could be so groundbreaking right now. Oh, man. This episode is gonna be so groundbreaking right now. No,
this is why I love it, because I know both of you and I respect both of you separately. And
Yeah.
I just, because of my own experience, I know what the answer is, and I want to see where your head's at right now with the answer.
Yeah. I'm gonna just give. So you know what? This is your platform, so fuck it. Oh man, I hate you. So you know, we had our daughter out of thrill. You know, we have a beautiful little girl. She turned 1. That's my joy. We were, you know, hey, I saw a beautiful young lady. She saw a handsome man. We had fun. You know, 9 months later, we had a baby. We didn't know each other. I didn't know her. And at the time, at the time I was talking to somebody or trying to talk to somebody else this whole entire time. And I thought where my heart was, I left her.
Mm-hmm.
I just like left her, yeah. There's no question. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts. And even then, we were already on a down, you know, on like a down slope. So I'm ready to make this next move. And in the process, from the outside looking in, I made her move from Dallas to like Houston.
Mm-hmm.
She left everything. She came to Houston to, of course, better herself and be with her family. And in the process, I left her, and her and our daughter, they went back to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit hurt.
Do you feel like you could have done that in a better way with what you know now?
No. Anyway, I mean, the overall best way would to not have done anything and stayed in a like relationship, and then they would have probably still been here right now. You know?
Yeah, I'm not even saying stay in a relationship, but really just have like, okay, can we have a discussion right now? This is what I've been feeling. This is what I've been thinking. This is where I am. But at the end of the day, the best way for us to be great parents is for you to be in the best space and for me to be in the best space. How can we
see, and I didn't do it that way. And ultimately, I still told on myself. And nobody knew what I was doing. I think it was eating me up inside. Like, yo, I'm portraying this life on Twitter or on Instagram. So one day I was just like, fuck it, yo. Like, I sat her down. I was like, yo, this is what I'm doing right now. And the shit hurt. And ultimately, I mean, I gave her a time. I was like, yo, you have to like leave. I was like, you can't be here, while I'm, doing me right now. And I didn't want my daughter to leave, but I already knew the mother is gonna always take the child no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but yeah.
I mean, overall, realistically, not saying that can't happen, but overall, she's a great mother.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, not saying that she's a bad mother and then, oh yeah, hey, you can't take your daughter because I know you're bad. No, she's a wonderful mom. I just think for me, that was my first child. I don't want my child to go nowhere.
Yeah.
So, they left, and that day, I can replay that day. I don't care how old I am. I can replay that day. Even now, I can replay it.
Mm-hmm.
When they left the driveway, it was like a movie. I cried in the driveway. I'm talking about I fell to the ground and cried. The neighbor had to come and see what was wrong with me. I said, I'm good. Like, they thought I was probably down or something. I was like, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing my daughter just left. Like, they just left the driveway. That was probably like the last image I had of my daughter, like leaving the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably could have stopped all that, but I think my ego got in the way. And what I wanted, and I'm not going to mention like the other woman, but I wanted her. that's what I wanted. I mean, hell, I, cared and I, like loved for her, So whatever reasons, months came, of course I'm back in school, college, the whole COVID situation happened. And one thing I'll probably say, even after, she left, I always thought about it in the back of my head, but I was like, the what ifs, how could I probably have done things differently? And we honestly didn't talk. I know I got bashed a lot on Twitter, a whole lot.
I think y'all should have went through that separately and quietly.
Yeah.
And then bring it in as, let's talk about this topic, and then you bring in that situation you went through.
It was so fast.
Yeah.
It was so fast, man. I got bashed for it, and I appreciate you and a couple other people. Y'all really kind of kept your comments. I mean, which no comment to me, even people who actually spoke their mind, I wasn't mad at it. Because, I got my own medicine. I got to take my own medicine. But it was more so, it was like,
I didn't have any issue with you or the situation. My thing was the basis for you, because you said, remember, you are a people pleaser. Yeah. Trying to make sure everyone's happy within all of that. And the reality is everybody's not going to be happy. So when you make that your basis, all your dominoes gonna fall. And that's what that was. Yeah. That's what that was. So
everything fell, and without giving too many hints, during COVID, I became single. So,
but that's fine though. So now.
No. That's fine. But it kind of goes back to your question.
Yeah.
Or how do I want my daughter to see how I treat like her mom? And that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Or that's what we're working on right now. So, I was cool with even during or like before that. I was cool, and I wasn't bringing her or showing her around for her to see her dad with other women. But at the same time, I was cool with making that next step on being with the other person with my daughter, and they were cool with that as well. I think when you're talking, and now I honestly do believe what people say, I think more so for men. I don't know about women, but it's not good to talk to men with a newborn. It's not.
My limit is now, if a man has children under 5, sir, I want you to have a great day.
Yeah, because a lot of, and this person wasn't that, or I was thinking, but a lot of pure questions start to formulate, and it gets repetitive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if I'm with you, why are you asking me these questions? But I wouldn't recommend any woman to talk to a guy unless the mother is like deceased, for like birth reasons or because of like natural causes. If the mother is still in the picture, I wouldn't recommend you talk to a man that has a newborn. Now, like you said, after 5 years, of course, yeah, but as a newborn, because me and the mom still have to communicate, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, it is what it is. I don't live with my daughter, so the only way that majority of times, unless I'm there or she's over here, is through FaceTime. So, of course, I'm going to be on the phone for an extended period of time. I don't see her throughout the time. I work, 7-8 days out the week. I'm in school for about 4. When I have my time to see her through FaceTime, I don't want it to be 10 minutes. It may be an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and her mom allows me to be on the phone with her on her own device,
right,
for like an hour. I have to respect that.
sacrifice.
Exactly.
Yeah, them two of them. So
Exactly.
no.
So, but when you see, like, why are you on the phone with her for like an hour? I'm just like, why are you even asking me like that question? This is my daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
I think it can happen. It just takes a very mentally mature woman to understand, like, this is the family dynamic that this man has. You are also special to him in a certain way, but this cannot be prioritized to be under you. It just can't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, with that being said, I think this way, like I said, you know, you're doing groundbreaking things on your pod right now. You know, me and Raina's mom.
Yeah.
We are working on ourselves so Raina can see both of her parents together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what I will tell you with this, and then we can move on. It's gonna take you guys time. With one of my kids' dads, it took us about 5.5 years to where we could be mellow.
Yeah.
And then the other one is kind of like, because he came out of pocket on his ego, we now have like a judge saying, sir, you on timeout for like a whole year. So being that I'm coming up on the last 2 months, and then we have to figure out how we're going to work together again and see if he's calmed down. I'm curious as to what that's going to look like, but it just takes time, and it gets better later on.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I think everybody's in a good space now. You know, we talked about it. I just feel as if, I mean, even with my last situation, if the insecure questions, I mean, like I said, she's not insecure, but the insecure questions didn't always come about, then, you know, my conversation with you may be different right now. But I just feel when a man has a newborn, it's unless you have a strong-willed mind, you know, it's not for that person. It's not.
Plus, y'all need that space to rearrange your life. And like having a new kid into your life, and you know, you're sharing a child that's in two different places. It's a whole type of rearranging that needs to go on, and sometimes it's just better to not involve somebody that you're also learning into the mix. So.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. That's you kind of know the facts.
Yeah, man. So my next question is, who supports you in fatherhood? Is it friends? Is it family? Is it a companion? Like, who supports you when you have questions about if you're doing something right? Are you doing too much? All that.
I'm honestly going to say it's myself. You know, anybody can give you advice, which they have. My friends, you know, I have friends that are here in person that, you know, yes, they know me, they know the mother of my child, and, you know, they kind of stay clear of like all that drama. But when it comes to fatherhood, I may ask, hey, how did you do certain things? But at the end of the day, you have to be the parent to decide what's good for your child. Nobody's going to walk you through it. Like, yes, my mom may say some things and say, hey, son, do this, do that. And you may take bits and pieces here and there, but ultimately, you're the one making the like decision. You know, like your child can't think for like themselves right now. You have to think for them, and also benefit for you, whether that's financially or just, you know, hey, what's good for like the short term or what's good for like long term, you know? And so far I've been good. I've rolled the dice. I've made some huge flops. and I've also made some good runs. But right now, on a consistent basis, everything's been great, I think the only person I can honestly say that is good would be like her mom. Like I said, her mom, she's with her mom at least 80% of the time. The other 20% is when she's over here with me or when I'm going over there. So maybe 70-30. So, but I would say for myself, I think ultimately, I think for any parent, unless the parent is a child, nowadays we have kids having kids. But I think,
whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's another topic. But I think, I had my daughter when I was 33. So I wasn't, 20 something years old and most
still a gem, still a black man gem.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like I was in my 30s, like when I had her, and so the storybook is like told, when you're in like your like your 30s, you're supposed to have your stuff together and stuff like that, opposed to your 20s. And I don't believe all of that. I think it just depends on the individual. But I wasn't ready in my 20s to have kids. And if I were to
people, your 20s are your selfish years, the only years you have to be selfish.
Yeah. And if I were to have a kid in my 20s, I think I would have had to have a lot of help,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think now it's more so, it's you're teaching like yourself how to be a parent. It's almost like animals. It's like, when you're having a dog who's a girl, and like once she has puppies, she automatically becomes a mom. Mm-hmm. She's in mommy mode. For me, I'm in daddy mode already. It just comes natural,
That's good. Your daughter's too little to do this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. How does your daughter show you appreciation?
She is too little. I will say one thing, this is she's very caring right now at this young age. What I mean by that, if you're just chilling watching TV and all her toys are scattered like around, I don't know who she got it from. Maybe it's from her mom's personality, or when she's with her, because her mom has two other kids, so maybe she sees it from them. But when she has her toys scattered around, she knows to put her toys in her playpen. So she picks up the toys, puts it in the playpen for you, or she'll pick it up and then she'll say, huh? And she'll give it to you so you can throw it away. So, her just knowing, hey, I'm going to clean up after myself. And she lets me know when she wants to play, Like I said earlier, when you asked me about the 4 things that you want to incorporate, she likes to laugh and play. So when it's time, she lets me know, hey, Dad, it's time to play. Come on, I'm up now. Let's play. So I was on an 8-day of vacation. I took PTO for 8 days. We were just playing the whole time, and she lets me know when she wants to play, when she's tired, when she's hungry. But I think her biggest appreciation or how she shows it is her cleaning up. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know too many kids who want to clean up.
I have one that loves to clean up, and I have the other one that's just like, all right, both of you clean up. And Ari's like, I want to lie down. I'm just like, girl, you clean up too. So I hope that sticks. I hope that sticks with her.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope it does too. But yeah, those two would be the most. I mean, it would be like the most attributes that I love about her.
Okay. So being that your mom primarily raised you, do you feel that your mother gave you the proper discussions, lessons, and tools to be a great father?
I don't think verbally she probably gave it to me. I saw it growing up. raised by a single mom. I've seen her get beat. I've seen, while I was with, of course, I'm 4 years older than my brother.
Yeah.
But we slept in cars. We slept at friends' house, family members' house. We've had Salvation Army for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So not so much verbally, but just seeing how she overcame all of that. She owns her own home health, making 6 figures now. She did that as a student exchange student because, she's we're from Africa. She's from Liberia. So for her as an individual to come to the States and better herself with 2 kids, graduating, getting her own business, having cars, it kind of just showed me what I needed to do, and so by me just seeing that, it kind of let me know, hey, I need to carry on that tradition. Not saying, sleep in cars, but I should never let it get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or even quit, because what you just said showed me that your mother didn't quit on
exactly
getting to
so make sure that you have a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, you have shoes on your feet, you have food to eat, you have education. So she never really needed to say anything. She never really disciplined me as well, because me and her, I'm her first. So whatever she's been through, I've been through it as well through that age. I think everything for us changed drastically when I got to high school. So high school, that's when she got the house and she started bettering herself and the money started coming. So we was good. Like, people were like, oh, y'all rich? Like, nah, bro, like, I still believe in, like, the system, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to act. I don't know how to be like the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? I don't. So, and I never will be. I'm comfortable. I may not be a blue collar person, but I'm comfortable being a blue, collar person.
Yeah, if you had to do the work, you could do it.
Yeah, so I'm very, very comfortable being that person, and I like hanging around people like that. I don't, I'm cool with just chilling in the front porch playing dominoes and spades.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Minus the spades, because I don't understand that game.
Man, every black person and their
I have 2 Jamaican parents. We don't do that. We play dominoes and checkers.
Every black person play spades and dominoes and Monopoly, but I don't like Monopoly. I'm
gonna tell you right now, I am cheating in Monopoly all the time.
See, that's like the dumbest game to me of all time now. I don't like. It's so long. It's so long. That's crazy.
Why are black involved dads important to the new generation?
Leadership. Leadership. We are kings. I mean, and for you to see a black man doing reckless things, it carries on to the next, generation. And as you asked me before, like, seeing my mom do certain things, she's not a man, of course, but you incorporate things as a child by watching other people do things,
Right.
So, seeing, R.I.P. George Floyd being killed as a black man, that hit. And you can only better yourself from that, you know what I'm saying? And we have long ways to go, but I want my cousins who are boys, and, if I have a son, and even her son, but my child, she has a son. Yes, her dad is still Yes, his dad is still in the picture in his life, but if I'm talking to his mom, I need to be that father figure as well, you know?
Right.
I need to be that man and be a king. You know, being a king doesn't mean, you know, living or having like a throne, but, you know, have respect, have a foundation, have a roof, be able to feed the family, and just being a great dad, man. Like, there's nothing greater, because I didn't have it, but now that I have my daughter, there's nothing greater coming to a home where your family's happy and everybody gets together. There's nothing greater than that. To me, it's a pleasure. It's just great coming home and the whole, y'all order pizza or, you know, Saturday or Sunday, the barbecue's out there, y'all playing dominoes, the kids are playing, and I don't want my daughter to know about video games. I want her to have her bike. I want her to play outside. There's no video games. There's no cell phone. I'm going to teach you how to play freeze tag. You know what I'm saying? Hide and go seek. Like all of that, yeah. Like, we're not doing any of that. Like hopscotch. You're learning all of that, yeah.
So, being that said, I got a yes or no question for you.
All right, go ahead.
Are you cool with your daughter having sleepovers between ages 8 and 16? Yes or no?
Of the same sex?
I mean, kids.
Same sex, yeah. I mean, of the same sex, yeah. But like you said earlier, I mean, well, so and so as well. If I do incorporate that as a family thing, one, I want to make sure like who's coming over, and if you're going over to their house, you know, I'm gonna have to give her like a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna
you need to know the parent.
Exactly. I've known the parents, like all of that. I want to make sure the parents are cool as well. And if not, then no, it's an automatic no. Now, if you're going over to like your cousins, even with that, yo, like, who's your cousin? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, dynamic. Like, yo, you're no, like you're not going over there. Like, no, you're staying here. Yeah. So, stuff like that, man. I really wasn't a big sleepover person. I slept over like my cousin's house, but as far as like with friends, nah.
I always was like to my friends, yes, I'm gonna come over. You know, when we lived in Maryland, it was like I think 14 apartments to a building.
Yeah.
And I had a best friend that lived below me. And then every time I got over there and it was like time to sleep over, I was just like, damn, I want to go home. Not because like I'm bored, just because I'm just more comfortable sleeping in my house.
Facts. Like it's cool staying over, playing like maybe in high school as a freshman. I had a homeboy. He lived in another like subdivision, but we all lived in the same neighborhood. I slept over there like once or twice. I think one time though, I asked if I could go home, only because I wanted to go home. Like, bro, like we just here playing Madden and talking about girls. I'm like, all right, when it's time to go to bed, I'm not trying to sleep in a game room. I have a bed.
Like, pass me my keys, I'm about to go home.
Yeah, like I called my mom, like, Mom, pick me up. She's like, why? I want to go home. Like, I have my own bed to wake up to. Why is it in your bed?
If anybody asks me, like, what's your fear as a mom, is my daughter's getting friends and be like, can they sleep over? I'm just like, no, I don't even want you here.
Like, yo. Get out of here, dog.
It's like more kids. I don't even want y'all here sometimes. So
and even that, if like for like sleepovers, maybe like 3 kids tops, yo, because that's a lot of mouth to feed, yo.
Yes, a lot of talking, a lot of noise, a lot of.
Yeah, and I do not like talk. Like, yo, when you saw that, like even like her kids. You know, they're loud, natural. Like, hey, y'all go to your room, dog. Or I'm going to the room. Y'all can have it. Like, y'all talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. I just want to pick your brain on that. What is the number one thing you think a girl needs from their dad, and why?
Love. Love, and yeah, love. Ultimately love. They cry, they look up, where's dad? Or they lose a game, they need so I think love and affection can go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So love and affection. But love and affection the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Because men do it as well. I don't want a woman thinking, oh, she can only get love and affection if she does this thing for a man, then she'll give him, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but like love and affection.
Yeah, my ultimate thing, I agree with that, is to teach both of my girls that you could do all these great things for a man, and he still might not want you to be there, or you still might not stay. And just to find comfort in the fact that you know your worth, and you know that you bring X, Y, and Z to the table, and that's okay if he doesn't want to stay. But we not chasing nobody.
And that's the thing about me having a girl, is like teaching her the game. Like, yo,
oh yes,
I have to teach my daughter at a young age. This is what daddy, did. And ultimately, I think I do want to let her know about what happened. Like, I think for me, she has to know.
Mm-hmm. She should know in due time. But
due time. But I don't want her to think, oh yeah, me and your mom is one big happy family. Like, like this is what happened. Like, just how what's the show that everybody likes? Insecure. And Molly found out that her dad cheated or whatnot. Yeah. So it's like, yo, like ultimately, I will spill the beans, but I'll probably do it maybe in college or something.
You do it when they need it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, let me brag about this. It's not that. It's just more look at our relationship now. You would never think it was ever this, but it was.
Yeah.
My last question for you is a fill in the blank. My main focus as a dad for my daughter is blank.
Finishing school.
For you to finish school, or for her to finish?
Yeah, for me. For me. Finishing school, and everything all ties back. Like I said, how my mom kind of raised us, and what me seeing her go through finishing school. I haven't finished college yet. I have 2 more years. I will be graduating in 2022. I'm happy about that. Get my bachelor's. But I want her to know that, education is important. Mm-hmm. And just how you said, you don't need a man for, you're worth more than life sometimes. Like, you don't need a man for this. Mm-hmm. Get your education. Having that piece of paper sometimes is very, very valuable. I know the job that I have right now is very good. It pays well. I've been there for almost 7 years now, but God forbid if I get let go, mm-hmm. That's it. I'll probably have to start over again. You know what I'm saying?
It's not it, but it's like you got to peel up a new layer of yourself to take your attributes elsewhere.
Exactly. But I also know as well, being my age, like the job that I have, it's somewhat of a young person's sport, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for me, yes, I'm still young, but it's almost like basketball. Yeah. LeBron James is the best player right now, arguably all time, but he's 35. Right. Basketball is technically a young man's sport, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And yes, he's the greatest, but every year that he's getting older, we always hear, is he going to retire or has he lost his step? Mm-hmm. And that's what it is for me in the profession that I'm in. I'm 34. Most people that I work around is roughly about 26, 27, in that age group. So as I'm up in age, they're in there. But my, I have a great career right now, but I do need to graduate, and I just want her to know that, hey, both of your parents, they did X, Y, and Z, so you can be provided with the stuff that you need to better yourself as well. You know, I don't want her to just see us. I don't want her to ever see me slacking and think it's comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You're teaching her how to be a leader.
Yeah, you know.
You finish what you start.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Well, thank you, Peabody.
Oh man, it's been my pleasure, y'all. This was cool. It's we do it all the time anyway.
Right.
All those Zoom meetings. So this was dope, y'all. It's you asked a couple of questions. I was like, damn, came ready today, dog. She had on her Mike Tyson gloves today, dog.
Bye.
Bye.